Today we're in deepest Dorset at Westbrook Farm, Upway, which is about 5 miles south of the market town of Dorchester. But more to the point, as regards what we're going to talk about today, is that we're only about 30 miles from the busy shipping port of Poole, roughly 50 miles from the north coast of France. That's because last year they had a reported case of Bluetongue in Poole, which straight away plunged the area into a protection zone, and understandably put the frighteners on the local farming community. To tell me a bit more about what it's like being in the front line, we've come here to talk to one of the Foot family, Sam Foot. Okay, Sam, now you're in charge of the livestock side of the family farm business here. Just how many head of stock have you got on?
We're milking 650 cows on 4 sites, including followers, and we also rear some male followers, and we also run 500 Poll Dorset ewes.
Now, that's a heck of a lot of stock to be looking after for anybody. Now, you've got to keep them on the straight and narrow as regards diseases are concerned, and Bluetongue comes along, and yet another worry for you.
Yeah, sure, it was a worry. We already do quite a lot of vaccinating, so we just discussed with the vet what our policy would be. He was adamant we were to get on and vaccinate, so that's exactly what we did.
And I suppose adding to those worries, you've got the sheep as well, which are perhaps more susceptible to attack.
Yeah, but on the positive side, with a sheep you only have to vaccinate them once to get them started on the programme, so it was only one handling, so again that just seemed a fairly sensible way to go. Okay,
did that incident in Poole last year, did it galvanise you into action?
It probably did. It probably made us even more determined to get the vaccination carried out as quick as we could. I mean, it didn't change any decisions. We were going to get on and vaccinate anyway.
Now, you were in France, I believe, a week or two ago. What's the thinking over there, and how are they coping with 1 and 6 strains?
Yeah, I was a little bit sceptical because we are fairly vulnerable with Bluetongue 1 heading in our direction. So going to France and speaking to some of the local farmers there did give me a lot of confidence, because the vets are carrying out their compulsory vaccination programme. So I do feel that they're going to get it done, and that's going to be quite a nice barrier for us between us and the rest of Europe.
You've seen what 1 and 6 can do on the continent. Do you feel a little unprotected in this country without having vaccines for those particular serotypes?
Yes, we do feel fairly vulnerable, especially down here on the south coast. There's a lot of calls to stop imports of cattle, but that's not going to happen just because of free trade within Europe. But then on the other hand, if I want to go and buy Bluetongue 1 vaccine, I'm not allowed to because of the zoning. So where's the free trade?
And just, I believe you've done the cattle for this year, and I saw just some of your heifers earlier on. 1 or 2 little swellings at the vaccination site. Do you find that you're getting any adverse reaction from vaccination?
We carried out most of our vaccination in March. We haven't done the sheep yet, but we'll shear them the first week of April and then do them after that. We did have a few lumps on some of the cows, but we haven't experienced any abortions or any other adverse effects to our livestock.
All right, just on the cost front, which is the all-important thing as well as controlling it, just what's it cost per injection for you?
Yeah, it's been costing us about 60 pence, just a bit less than 60 pence an animal. And then obviously you've got the labour costs of actually carrying out the vaccination.
So 60 pence, and you've got about 2,400 or so. That's getting on for £1,500 just for the vaccine alone. That's without lost production or labour, so it's probably £5,000 or something like that before you finish, which is a big investment.
Yeah, it is a big investment, but just thinking about just our milk, we're producing about 6.5 million litres, and the consequence of getting Bluetongue, you could be talking 10% loss in production and output. So, to me, that 60 pence an animal is a no-brainer.
So you're keen to get it done and do it, but what about some fellow producers who may be wavering a bit, not having sort of the same threats from Bluetongue which you may face down here?
I mean, it's part of being a livestock farmer to me to protect your animals, and the technology's there for us to do it. So I think it's very important that everyone carries out vaccination, as and when it's available.
All right. Thanks for that, Sam. Now I want to turn to Andrew Davis from the Southfield Veterinary Centre, who was at the heart of things down here last year.